speaker will be Dave Zien. I know that he's already got some of his stuff out, so he'll probably go a little shorter, and then we can open the mic up for any quick comments. So after Dave is done, anybody who would like to get up and say any comments or say anything, please line up over here. Take a little time to say hi before closing ceremonies. We know it's a beautiful day out there, so people want to get going. Come on up here, Dave.
Dave's slotted for 3 minutes, ain't he?
And he's already used 2 up.
He's already used up 2, yeah.
That's right, yes. So.
I only got 10 minutes.
Well, I've heard that story before. Dave is our past Wisconsin senator, million-mile motorcycle man, broken more records in the world Guinness Book of Records than I can count. So anyway, the floor is yours, brother.
I want somebody to tell me when 10 minutes are up. So raise your hand, so 10 minutes. There's just a lot to say. And Mike Hankey, you were entirely correct. I was taking notes on you of all the things you missed. You don't expound upon yourself. You want to be a good politician. You should have been a politician. Jimmy Boy, I got to say one word about Jimmy Boy. The most beloved state representative, state senator that won with the biggest majority of votes, who's the most well-liked in the whole state of Wisconsin, that got the most votes, the best liked, the best known. I don't know of any enemies you have. Is State Representative Jimmy Boy Edmond. Give him a hand. You're too humble. You gotta expound upon your good characteristics. There's a lot of things to say, and I got 9 minutes left, but I'm gonna start right off with the Hmong. The Hmong warriors, the old Laotian flag. I mean, I have a DVD called Hunted Like Animals. Hunted Like Animals. When you came to this country, I mean, it was unbelievable. Backing up. There's 3 people that were at the National Vietnam Veterans Memorial dedication. We dedicated the wall on November 11th, 1982. Dennis Wood, Kerr Morgan, and myself. We had unit reunions. The only person there from Lima Company, 3rd Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment, 3rd Marine Division, was my company commander. And he said to me, you weren't supposed to know where we were at. We were in Laos. I was point man. And different than other point men, I blazed my own trail. My mom had sent me a bowie knife. And I get a grid coordinate, an azimuth, I run an azimuth in our compass, I go straight there, through the jungle. I did not take the trails with booby traps, ambushes, punky pits, no. I blazed my own trail. On point, we discovered a huge base camp, north and east base camp. In that base camp was crude bamboo bleachers. In the middle was a Marine Corps flak jacket with a bamboo post, and they were teaching how to bayonet. Remember how we were taught bayonet into the rib cage and twist it, hit the diaphragm, whistle? We remember, that's the way we were trained. They were teaching how to bayonet. Marines. That's all that was up there on the DMZ was Marines. I've never said this before in a public audience. May 2007. I was a chapter commander, Chapter 1, Rolling Thunder, State of Wisconsin. Rolling Thunder is the largest veterans parade, the largest motorcycle parade. It goes from the Pentagon, the parking lot, to the Vietnam Wall every year. This is the last year, by the way, May 2019. In that year, I had coordinated that the Hmong, General Van Powell himself, would be at Washington, D.C., and they were going to have separate ceremonies before the big motorcycle ride for the Hmong. The FBI, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, had sting operations, but the left hand didn't know what the right hand. The FBI did not know what the CIA and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms were doing. Ralph, you're shaking your head. You remember this. A few days, I think 4 or 5 days after that, May 2007, General Van Powell was arrested. And 11 of his lieutenants, 11 of his commanding officers were arrested. For what? Espionage, trying to overthrow the government. I it was savage. It was cruel. One of those individuals, maybe two, died in prison, in jail. I went to Sacramento. General Van Powell's wife passed away. I was there at the funeral. I was there at the Sacramento federal court when the charges were dropped. No charges were warranted. But they spent, what, 2 years? All that duress, all that disappointment, all that hate, all that speculation that we're trying to overthrow the government. Our phones were tapped. The head of Rolling Thunder, get his name, but on the phone I says, I know our phones are being tapped. I've watched Hunted for Animals, and if I were among, I would buy firearms and overthrow the government to get my relatives back from Laos. It was cruel. General Van Powell in later years passed away. We tried to spearhead a movement that General Van Powell would be buried at the Arlington National Cemetery. The government said no. But he was an ally. You have to be a veteran. Then we showed examples of other allies that were buried at Arlington. He was never buried at Arlington. He should have been buried at Arlington Cemetery. And I'm going to cease on this, but at Cadet, this flag flies 24 hours a day, as does the Purple Heart flag, as does the Vietnam Vets of America, Chapter 5, the oldest chapter in the world, the oldest continuous chapter. That flag flies 24 hours a day, 52 weeks a year. This flag also flies on my motorcycle, day in, day and day. By the way, I blew up my motorcycle yesterday, trying to get back. Blew the engine, and I got heat stroke twice in Georgia and Florida, and I had to have medical attention. I'm not as young as in shape as some of you guys are. I can't ride a motorcycle in hot weather. But there's just so much to say. Okay, I'm going to have to be severely critical, constructive feedback. Yesterday and today, some of the best programs in the state of Wisconsin in honoring not only Vietnam veterans, but all veterans. Severely critical that more people don't know about this. I hope everybody should be aware of this. And honor the fallen. Here's another example. One of the premier events of the state, oh boy, I've been writing notes on here. May 11th to September 28th. I mean, my criticism, constructive feedback, I'm sorry, John, Dennis, everybody, is that the Department of Tourism, the Department of Veterans Affairs, the whole legislature should know about these events. This Ladysmith Veterans Park. How many people have been to the Ladysmith Veterans Park? Oh my gosh, more people have not been there. It's unbelievable, the history of Rusk County and the displays they got, and the little idiosyncrasies, the little stories they have about what happened there. You got one of the buglers of America. How many times have you played there at the Ladysmith Park? 20?
Probably, yeah.
20, 30? Jimmy's one of the buglers of America. It's unbelievable what you have and people don't know about it. But it's a sin. James 4:16, if you know of good and don't do it, you're guilty of sin. We are guilty of sin because we don't let people know. About May 14th, Laotian Veterans Day, the Hmong Veterans Day. It's a sin. It's a sin that people don't know that Highway 8 was proposed, I don't know if it's going to be proposed this year, to be the Mideast Conflict Highway. The only flag, the only highway in the United States of America honoring the Mideast conflict. The Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, Iraq. How many people have suffered and served and died there? Their loved ones are still suffering. They'll suffer until the grave. That's why we have honor the fallen. We will not forget. We will not give up. That's why we have Veterans Organization. Mike Hankey, the commander of the state of Wisconsin, AMVETS, every one of us should be a member of AMVETS. The Vietnam Vets of America, every one of us should be a member or associate member of Vietnam Vets of America. The Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion. Backing up, I can send you this email. It's probably 6-7 weeks ago, a person ready to pull the trigger. His wife had passed away after marriage of 50 years. He was ready to do himself in. Never had been a member of any veterans organization. Never knew about post-traumatic stress disorder, survivor's guilt, chronic anxiety. Never even told his own children about the horrors of war, the 173rd and the 101st Airborne. He was in a chopper one time when all the bodies of dead Army soldiers, the blood was running down underneath his feet. They were taking out dead corpses and bodies. His best friend, who was going to be his best man at his wedding and wife when he married his wife, was shot next to him. Blood, brains, bone, smattered all over him. A couple weeks later, he was married to a wife. But he wasn't his best man. He was killed by a sniper. What I'm saying is, now I'm aware of another story. Every one of us should, and I'm not going to blow smoke in your face, Eric, but these county veteran service officers are underpaid, overworked, but every one of us should order our military, medical, and personal records, ribbons, and medals entitled to for our ancestors, going back to the Civil War. Find out what and when and where they served, he or she, what they did, what commanding officer said, what kind of health problems they had. There's a certain person I understand in this audience that just found out his son was, I'm going to say it, brutally murdered. He just found out his son had a Bronze Star for heroism. United States Army, Iraq. How much of a travesty is it that we don't share our story? There's hundreds of people that should be here. There's hundreds of people that they might have had a World War II, a Korean veteran. We got one World War II veteran here and one Korean, or recent Korean. It's a shame that stories are going untold, legacies are going unknown about. But we are all legends that we need to share that. Bottom line, to share a couple other things. We have a 6-day tour coming up May 14th, and I'll pass this around. On the back is the tour, and it's the same. We start on the 13th. We're going to try to make the Hmong Day at the High Ground and at the Veterans Tribute in some fashion, so I'll just pass this around. This is a schedule. Wheels of Liberty, we record all this 6-day tour. This will be our 4th, let me see, 1, 2, 3. This will be our 5th 6-day tour. Daryl, is Daryl still here? Yeah, Daryl's going to be on the tour. He's always on it, so if you can just pass this around. This is an example of what we do. And then we've written 28 resolutions last year, and I don't know if we're going to do it again. Because the major veterans organizations, they were kind of interested and kind of not. And then some of them said, well, we'll follow up on them. A national monument, National Native American, a meteorite site. Mike, you know about, I talked to the VBA Chapter 5 about this quite a bit. I got to share something. Some people are wondering why I look the way I do. One of 3 national beard contests. All natural, 6 inches or more. First place. Okay, 10 minutes is up. I won first place. But now here's something for you. You can pass this around. I just got to show it. Because there's a couple of people that cut my whiskers in a second, but they got their knife out right now. April 15th, we're actually going to leave on the 12th. If anybody, my last movie was released just a year ago. I portrayed Moses, rebel on the highway. There's no pornography, no profanity, no promiscuity, and no blood in the movie. I portrayed Moses, but they cut out some of the big parts. We're filming another movie, and we're going to take a caravan. Everybody wants to, motorcycles, cars, trucks. April 13th we leave. We got to be in Nothin, Alabama, April 15th. And we're filming the movie Rough Boys. And the movie starts out with me riding a motorcycle. It's a motorcycle movie. But anyway, if anybody wants to go see me after me. And I got to thank somebody. When I come back from the Nam, I went to the University of Eau Claire. A lot of people wouldn't talk to me. I didn't cut my hair and shave for 2 years. I didn't comb my, well, of course I don't comb my hair too much now. I didn't comb my hair. There's one person in this audience that would talk to me. Dave, settle down. No people looking for those rednecks. Don't go on Water Street and beating people up anymore. You gotta cool it. Winston, thanks for helping me out in 1971. in 72. Give him a big applause. Stand up, stand up. God bless each and every one of you. My 10 minutes are up.
Dave,
Yeah.
now that you won that prize for the August beer, are we going to recognize you winning if you shave?
There's 3 national beer contests this summer. I won $800, and the people that encouraged me to the contest, they don't want me showing up no more. So I won $200 here 2 weeks ago at Appleton for the best beer contest. Big deal. This is about each and every one of you. My 10. Oh boy. Okay. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for telling the story. Thank you for sharing all the legacy that we have. And Dennis, this has got to be promoted more. John, your ride has got to be promoted in the Department of Tourism and the Veterans Affairs. Now get this, they give money for posters and printed material. They can help you promote. Not only include it on their websites and send out hard copy mail, they can give you money. Hey, thank you. Hey, hold it, 2 things. At the Veterans Tribute tonight, we're going to be promoting a Cold War monument. When was the Cold War? Does anybody know? When was the Cold War? Give me the years.
1946, 1993.
Who said that? Okay. 1947 to 1991. You're close. The last thing, March 29th, Friday, was actually officially Vietnam Veterans Day. Guess who really pushed it in the state of Wisconsin? One of the big, give Dennis Wood a big hand there.
Thank you, Dave.